think the Micah Nori situation, staying with the Timberwolves, is really interesting. It falls right into my wheelhouse too. And it's multi-layered. I totally get the frustration there. You have Micah Nori, who is a great assistant coach with the Timberwolves, who deserves a contract like any other coach in the NBA, even an unproven head coach, rather than the contract that he got. So for people who don't know, it's kind of like a one-one contract or one-to-one contract. Forget the exact term. But basically, it's a one-year contract, and it gives the Trailblazers the option of re-signing for the second year if they're happy with Nori's services, versus a more traditional contract where somebody would sign for 3 or 4 years at a time or something like that. And there is, like I said, like an understandable amount to be frustrated about here. Most NBA coaches aren't in situations like that. Mike Brown, for example, is a classic example of someone who signs 3-4 year deals, and in multiple jobs before he got to the situation with the Knicks, he was fired early, and it's almost kind of like a cliche at this point, kind of funny how many times that's happened to Mike Brown. But, you sign a contract like an NBA player does too, and whether or not you finish out or, whether or not you continue on with the team for any reason, you get paid your entire contract, no matter what, which is kind of the point of a contract. And the guys on Hoop Collective just had an interesting conversation about this. I think everyone kind of understands the nuances of the situation, and I don't think anybody on the Hoop Collective, even Brian Windhorst, who was kind of providing context for why the Portland Trail Blazers owner would want to sign Micah Nori to this kind of contract, which many coaches in the NBA are reportedly really unhappy with. And some coaches, I think it was Bickerstaff, JB Bickerstaff was like the head of the coaching union, who came on the record and sort of like lashed into it and said it was a bunch of bullshit that like sort of devalues what a coach does, and all that stuff. So let me just be clear, like I'm 100% in agreement with Bickerstaff on this. I do think it's bullshit, and I do think it devalues like an NBA coach. I think a first-time NBA coach who's earned his right to be there, regardless of where he's come from, deserves the right to be on a contract for more than 1 year, a 3-4 year deal, something along those lines. You've earned your place. You don't just come from nowhere if you're an NBA coach. I don't care if you're like a Nori, if you came up as an assistant coach, or you're JJ Redick, who was